Uh, hi. So this video is gonna be a bit different. A little quirky, you know how it be. But yeah. Behold my hobby, Yu-Gi-Oh. This is a bit of a sillier video, but I just thought it'd be fun to do a deck tech of my kind of child deck. I'm not super great at Yu-Gi-Oh, but I've always enjoyed it, especially with friends and casually. Master Duel's been a great boon, but Dueling Nexus, all that have been lots of fun for me, and I just love collecting cards. I play Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh. My collection is a lot. Although the recent paper Yu-Gi-Oh budget's been blah. Snake Eyes, I hate that. I don't actually hate Snake Eyes, but I hate how much it costs. Womp womp. Anyhow, this was one of my first decks I ever made was Ursarctic, and over the past year or two, I have been improving it. In quotation marks. It's not very good. It's actually quite a bad deck. Anyhow. So yeah, I guess we'll get into the deck tech. So, as you can see, wow, it's not very conventional. You might be like, oh, this isn't Voiceless Voice. Why are you playing Saravitus the Ancient in Ursarctic? I'll get to a bit more of that later, but Ursarctic's a very fragile strategy. It relies on current Ursarctic relies on a floodgate boss monster, which is a little boring, but we take what we can get when we play these shitty decks. So yeah, if you don't know what he does, I will bring up the card here. Saravitus the Ancient. Wow, this is unreadable. Welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! But basically, if someone were to target one of your cards, blue, yeah, it's a quick effect hand trap from your hand that lets you discard it, and when an opponent would, no, sorry, when your opponent would target a monster you control, you could discard it and negate that effect, which is very good for when you have a boss monster that requires to stay on the board but lacks most forms of protection. Remember, always use protection. And this is good. This is good protection. You just tippy-tappy it and put that away. But also, no, let's not put this away. It's also, as you can see, a ritual monster, and you might be like, this is Ursarctic. It's a synchro deck. How do you ritual summon? Well, that brings us into one copy of Advanced Ritual Art, and you might be like, why? Well, that brings us into our two copies of Gateway to Chaos with a terraforming, charging Gaia. We can overlay that there. We'll see something in this bitch. I'm not really soft speaking. I'm sorry, guys. No, red eyes. Okay, so charging Gaia. You guys probably don't know this card, but if it is tributed, it lets you search out a Blackluster Soldier card from your deck. And we play a couple of those. Here's one. We have this one, which honestly, I couldn't tell you what it does, but it has 3,000 attack. And the important thing, let me tell you a little secret. It's a level 7 or higher monster. So Ursarctic can discard it from hand, effectively making this fella 2 discards. But we also have the other BLS, Envoy of the Beginning. You love this guy if you played classic Yu-Gi-Oh! 3,000 attack beater, can attack twice or banish 1 card. He's quite fun. I like him. So, That one is kind of more of a powerhouse, but not really. What his best use is to make Bishbalkin, but we don't make Bishbalkin very often. He's more of a Hail Mary. Anyhow, where did I throw that card? Oh yeah, he's the other Gaia Knight. So yeah, we played 2 Gaia Knights. This one's a 1 of, this is a 3 of. This Gaia Knight, when tributed, can special summon a BLS from hand or graveyard. But Envoy of Chaos, or at the end, beginning, what? I'm dumb sometimes. But that card can not be special summoned to this effect, but the other one can. So, that being said, this is also a dark monster, so these 2 can be banished for the BLS. But mostly they're here because they could be tributed twice for any Ursarctic monster, which is a huge thing, because this deck runs out of gas very quick if you don't have a bunch of resources. But anyway, this still doesn't explain Cerberus until Gateway of Chaos. It lets us add either of those Gaia Knights from deck to hand. So, then we can, or a Blackluster Ritual monster, we don't play those. Maybe I should play Super Soldier. I was thinking about it, but it's a bit too bricky. But the other thing it has is when a card is sent from the field, I believe hand to the graveyard, you get a spell counter on it. Once it has 3, you could sack it and search any ritual spell. Advanced Ritual Art, which we played 2 Red Eyes in this deck for, which, I'm gonna be honest, this is not optimal, but I like it a lot. Red Eyes is a pet card of mine. Joey was my favorite. You know how it be. So that's this weird ritual tribute Blackluster Soldier package. But the entire goal is basically, lets us play a hand trap that helps defend our monsters, as well as a potential disruption tool if we can summon it with Advanced Ritual Art, which becomes searchable through Gateway Chaos, which becomes a 2-for-1, as well as each Gaia Knight performing an even more efficient engine of tribute summonings for Ursarctics, which tend to run out of gas, especially if you don't open the most important card in the deck. Behold, Ursarctic Radiation. You can't read this. You can't read any of this. But what it does is anytime you summon a Ursarctic monster from hand to extra deck, you can remove 1 of 7 counters that get placed on it and draw a card. It's a draw 7. Funny enough though, here's a tip that Ursarctic players don't tell you. It's only 1 can be activated at a time, but it's not once per turn. So if you would pop your own with Ursarctic Grand Chariot, you can draw up to 14 cards by placing another one, which might come up in the game I'll do later. So, and also in the end phase, it lets you shuffle any Ursarctic from your graveyard into your deck, which is kind of cool. Bit of recycling. Let's see, what are some other weird texts I've come up with? Here's my favorite lizard boy, Ipera. Iperia? Man, I don't know. But they're fun. All they do is draw a card once per turn, but it's a level 2 card. And if you don't know anything about Ursarctics, half of them, and the best ones in my opinion, are level 8 tuners. This one just banishes a card from the graveyard if you have another Ursarctic in play. But these 2 together, because you don't normal summon normally, so you take a Ipera, walk him down the street, and then boom, there comes any of your Ursarctics. Suddenly you have the best form of protection in this deck, and one really good interruption, Ice Jade Daimir Agrin. Why is there terraforming behind me? Well, if I play 1 terraforming. Anyway, this card, it lets you banish a monster, or any card actually, if its effect is activated, and if you activate this guy's effect basically in response to any of those effects or activation, it banishes it and all copies from the graveyard and field. And if you, after that happens, banish or not, just whenever you activate it, your cards can't be banished or destroyed by card effect. So, very solid protection. Plus, Ice Jade lore is amazing. I love the Ice Jades. The art's so cool. Search up Ice Jade Curse. It's one of my favorite arts. Anyhow, actual Ursarctic cards. You have the field spell. And yes, we do play 2 field spells in this deck, but the other one sacks itself, so you just have to hope that you don't draw it later down the line when you already have this in play. But that's also kind of the point of terraforming, because it makes a bit of a toolbox. Anyway, this one, whenever a monster special summon, it gets a counter. If you have an Ursarctic extra deck monster, you can take control of an enemy monster by moving 7 counters. Very solid, but also once per turn, you can use Ursarctic monster from the graveyard as tribute instead of an additional cost, which is very nice because it lets you have more gas. I'm not going to show you all the Ursarctics, but just to show you my kind of ratio, we have 3 Bright Knight Ursatrons, 3 Megapolar, which pop a spell or a trap, 3, I believe that's Mikbliss. It searches 1 from the deck. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong with the names. I'm not good at names. 2 Megatannis. It's Book of Moon, but bad. Requires you have an Ursarctic. 3 Megabliss, which is kind of like a bad DD Crow, because you can't actually... Because you have to use it and then summon it in response, and then once it's summoned, you could use its effect, so you have to do it preemptively instead of reactively like DD Crow, so it's kind of bad, but it's also 2800 beta, which solid, so I like it a lot. And 2, I believe, is that Megatannis? I forget the names, but it special summons an additional Ursarctic from hand when you tribute summon it. I will not tribute summon it, but all of them let you tribute a level 7 or higher monster from hand and special summon them. And then once they're special summoned, they do an effect if they're level 7, and if they're level 8, they do the effect, and if you have another Ursarctic on field. All the level 7s are kind of meant to give you resources, while the level 8s are effects, and they're all quick effects. So, they're bad hand traps as well. Besides Bright Knight. Bright Knight is the new card, or one of 2 new cards that is supported. It's also a Dry Shrine card, because for some reason they're mixed decks. Lot of text, but basically you could special summon it if you have any Ursarctic card on the field, a monster, not card, and lets you search an Ursarctic spell from your deck, which can be Radiation, the field spell, or Departure. And Departure is a discard 1, search 2 Ursarctics, and then on a later turn you could banish it from your graveyard instead of material, which is very good resources, and kind of allows you to set up a hand trap thing in your hand. If you're facing like a lab player or something, you could search one of the spell pops, and on their turn and your turn you could pop 1 trap, and then on their turn after setting it you could pop it again and pop another trap with another copy of it. That's some recursion stuff that's pretty nice. So that's all the main deck Ursarctic stuff, but here, let me grab some of the extra deck treats that we got. Hi, I'm back. I like Serpentrion, either way, I like this guy. He's a big old mech bear with a cool sword. His effect is if an opponent's special summoned, you could search your Ursarctic from your deck once per turn, any card, any Ursarctic card, and your opponent's monsters without a level have their effects negated. That sounds weird, but basically means Xyz and Link monsters can't do their thing. They have negated effects, which is, in fact, no one reads, especially in Master Duel. I've got so many free wins from it. He's my main boss monster. He also has 3k attack, so he's a lot stronger than Grand Chariot with only 2700. Furry is another one. This is how you get them out, one of two ways. There's another new way that's really cool. But Furry is cute as hell. I love this bear. This is the whole reason I got into this deck. Is when I was first in YuGiOh, I was like, oh, let's look at some archetypes. And then I saw this cute bear. I mean, look at him. Oh, I just want to... You know. But anyway, it searches the field spell on summon and puts it into play. And then you can tribute a level 7 or higher monster and summon an Ursarctic from the graveyard or add it to your hand. Which basically means, since it searches the field spell and that replaces a tribute, is you could give it a level 7 Ursarctic from your graveyard, summon a level 8, and then you can put that in level 8 into this. Because if you don't know, Ursarctics use Dark Synchro, so it's based on level difference. So this is only summonable with a level 7 and 8, one tuner, one non-tuner, and this is level 8 tuner and a level 1, which is Furry. Or the other option, if I could find it, I have a mess of cards. It's behind me. I'm dumb. Polar Star, new support. Not as cute, but kinda... Yeah, you know. But basically, this lets you tribute that level 7 or higher card from your field, but it directly summons... Or that... I'm kinda break... Not level 7 or higher. Basically, same summoning conditions as the other one. To rephrase it, you tribute a level 8 or higher Ursarctic monster from your hand or field, and then you can special summon one of the boss monsters, a level 7 Ursarctic Synchro, which is Serpentrion or Grand Chariot. Grand Chariot's a pop 2 2700 beater that has a negate if targeted, or any of your Ursarctic monsters are targeted. I believe, is that targeted or destroyed? Yeah, it's targeted. It's been a while, that guy gets killed off very quickly. But that one's good for popping your own radiation or just getting rid of some cards, but the other one's better in other scenarios. But this thing's cool effect is tributes itself in the level 8 to summon one, and it gains the effect. Cards without a level from the extra deck have their effects negated. So this and a Serpentrion negates all extra deck monsters' effects. But that's not all. What else it does? Well, not really does, but if you have the field spell out when you summon this guy, it's not a once per turn effect, and the field spell's a replacement effect, so you can then tribute any Ursarctic monster from your graveyard and use this guy's effect for free once, get out Serpentrion, and then use its effect again, tributing one from hand and this guy, and get out Grand Chariot. Both gain the effect, so both negate all leveled monsters from the extra deck. And now you have a pop 2 and a negate all links and Xyz, plus a searcher and a negate. Kinda a bad negate, but a negate nonetheless. So that's all the kinda generic-ish cards. We do have some spice, like in the extra deck we got Red Eyes Flare Metal. I'm gonna be honest, it's not very good. We don't need too many extra deck cards though, like we have a Barone in here, I'm sure you know what that does, as well as a few others. So this guy's kind of just in here because he's cool, and we're playing Red Eyes normal monsters already. So he's neat. And then, as I said earlier, Bish Balkan, which is more expensive than I realized, but I have a copy in person, so yeah. I like him. He's not very good. We don't do degenerate stuff with him. The reason we have him is sometimes you'll have a BLS monster and a level 8 Ursarctic and be like, you know, my board's solid, let's just get a big man that can't be destroyed by, what is it? Can't be destroyed by, I believe, card effects. Let me read this. Yeah, can't be destroyed by card effects. I'm right. So, yeah, that's Bish Balkan. can summon a bunch of tokens to each person's field as a quick effect. That's normally disadvantageous because it just fills the board up to as much as it can while being symmetrical. So it'll often give your opponent free material, but you could also, and it can't attack when it does it. So you don't really want to do it on your turn because we can't link summon. Ursarctic lock us out of links and Xyz. That being said, you can still get like Flare Metal out by activating Bright Knight, which won't lock you out. And since these are all quick effects, you could activate level 7 at the end of your opponent's turn, get the Surge Bright Knight, go into Flare Metal. Not very good. We also have X Purely Happiness, because it's actually generic and kind of negates everything on the board your opponent has. So, yeah, that's the kind of rundown of the deck. So now we're going to enter VR chat locals. By that I mean I'm playing a game against myself. Yeah, this world's cool, but I'm too shy to go to an actual event here. Especially this garbage pile of cards. But it's my garbage pile of cards that I'm happy to share with you cuties. Alright, show you the example game in a minute. Bye bye. For now. Be back. Well, for you it's like 5 seconds. Bwomp. So, let's get into the game. I have opened Cerberus, Bright Knight, Departure, and Radiation. So, this is a good hand. Now, because I'm not boring, I'm gonna narrate this like it's in the anime. So let me zoom out so you can see my monster zones. And let's begin the duel. I start by activating Ursarctic Radiation, placing 7 counters on it. I don't know how to do that in the simulator, so I'm just not gonna. Then I will use my normal summon on Hyperia. Why are you stubborn? There you go. Oh, this is so scuffed. Normal summon. Allowing me to draw 1 card, Ursarctic Megabliss. Then, do not underestimate me, for I'll activate Ursarctic Departure, allowing me to pitch Cerberus the Ancient into my graveyard, letting me search my deck for 2 Ursarctic cards. I shall grab Meek Polar and Mega Polar. For my deck, assuming that resolves, I now have Megapolar, Megapolar, and Megabliss. So, we will start by activating Megabliss and discarding Megapolar. Summon Megabliss, and then on summon, Chainlink 1, Megabliss effect, Chainlink 2, we will draw a card from Ursarctic Radiation. Blackluster Soldier. They don't even know what's coming. Then, on Megabliss's resolution, it summons the almighty Ursarctic Megapolar. Wow. Now, Ursarctic Megapolar's effect is irrelevant here, but since it was summoned from the hand, draw 1 card, move a radiation counter from Ursarctic Radiation. Now, we're gonna special summon Bright Knight Ursartron from our hand, which lets us unsummon search a Ursarctic spell card. So, we're gonna go do that, and grab Ursarctic Big Dipper, the field spell. There we go. That's not the field zone. You can't see the field zone, but it's there. Yeah, still don't know how to place counters in this, but that has 0 counters now, but it'll gain 1 anytime monster special summon. But that was only Chainlink 1. I grab that. Chain link 2 lets me draw a code from radiation. Radiation's actually pretty good at chain blocking things. So my hand's kind of a brick now, but we've only used radiation 3 times, so it has 4 more uses. So we can then overlay Make Bliss and Megapolar. Well, not overlay, but just use these two to summon from my extra deck. Polar Star. In face-up defense position. Polar Star will then draw us a code from radiation. It's another radiation, which isn't the worst thing. And then we'll use its effect with Big Dipper to banish this Mikbliss that was previously in our graveyard. And that lets us summon an Ursarctic Serpentron from our deck, extra deck, drawing us a code from radiation. I believe we have one more draw after this. We're getting unlucky. It is Bright Night again, so our hand's still a complete brick because we've drawn a second departure, radiation, and Bright Night. Unlucky, but it happens. But with the power and the heart of my cards, I don't actually think I can do a whole lot because I didn't draw a rank 8 from Polar Star, which kind of screws me over, if I'm gonna be honest, because now I can't tribute anything. So despite having cards in hand, I think that's the end phase. So now, yeah, that's a turn 1. But let's say we didn't brick, we could then use that rank 8 with Polar Star to then summon a Grand Chariot, which could pop our own radiation and the extra monster zone. But it was radiation. We put the triggers so it resolves before Polar Star. Effect, not Polar Star, before Grand Chariot's effect. And then we just play another radiation. If we say drew another rank 8, we could then turn that and Ipra into Ice Shade Gaimeagran. But yeah, so that's kind of the deck tech. I wish I did this in a more professional manner, but I hope you enjoyed the deck. I'll probably have some Yu-Gi-Oh related skits or roleplays down the line. But this is more of a hobby that I just wanted to share. I know it's scuffed. It's kind of inevitable in this type of video, but I enjoy it. This is just something I'm recording, get out there, that I'm passionate about. I'll have a more typical video out soon though. Actually, it's not going to be a typical video, but I have a feeling some of you good pets will enjoy it. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Bye bye. I love you. Mwah.